Biden hits the gas as Fetty gets a pass. True, Fetterman gets help from media fluffers, and Joe wastes gas while America suffers. You're getting there. After Pennsylvania State Senate candidate John Fetterman bombed at his debate with Dr. Oz, a desperate media is trying to turn him into a hero for the disability movement. Ooh, wow. That just made one audience member sick to her stomach. Yes, he's now the Rosa Parks of lumpy white men who hide their condition to fool voters into thinking he was fine. A slew of positive spin headlines paint a rosy picture of Fetterman's heroism and bravery when all he did was bark out confusing half sentences. Quote, a lens of empathy. Debate highlights ableism in politics. Fetterman can do for disability what Obama did for race.
Say what?
See, because when all else fails, use identity politics. But MSNBC's Lawrence O'Donnell went a step further.
Franklin Roosevelt and Winston Churchill had the good fortune to serve as the highest elected officials in their countries long before television news could cover their every move. Franklin Delano Roosevelt believed that it would be painful to watch him. Painful to watch quickly became an oft-repeated phrase on Twitter last night during the Pennsylvania Senate campaign debate.
He was painful to watch. But he has a point. I mean, Fetterman does have something in common with Churchill and FDR. You know, none have made a coherent statement in a long, long time. Which brings us to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who had this to say to Biden on a hot mic regarding Fetterman's performance.
Looks like the debate didn't hurt us too much in Pennsylvania as of tonight, so that's good.
Yeah, good. But if you notice, you look closely, you'll see that Biden is actually crossing his fingers there, if you can see that. Now, he's either grateful for the news or just hoping that was just a fart. Oh. We've all been there. Speaking of things spinning out of control, President Biden appeared on Jay Leno's car show and went more than 100 miles per hour in his 67 Corvette. It was easy to pick out Joe's car. It's the one with the turn signal on the whole time. Biden's drag race was actually filmed in the summer, but aired this week. And thank God drag means race cars and not Joe in pantyhose. Ugh, imagine that smell. Sweat. Testicles.
We get it. We get it. We got yeah.
Here's some footage that didn't make the cut.
Yeah. Need for Speed. Let's go, man. Hey, let's crank the radio.
Establishment isn't being addressed in the way Democrats would like to see. His approval ratings are in the toilet. Visible downs are ready to push him aside.
Inflation is rising and interest rates are going up.
I'm not listening anymore.
And people are feeling it. If you look at the latest Quinnipiac poll, the president's job approval rating stands at 33%.
It's like clockwork, Tyrus. Now, Fetterman is a protected class. They did this with the vice president. They do this with anybody, with Liz Warren trying to be Native American. They try, when they don't have an argument, they create a protected class. Now he's part of the disability class.
But he's not, because he's supposed to get better. Like, here's the thing. It wasn't like he didn't know, and his team didn't know that he suffered a stroke.
Yeah.
They covered it up because the seat was more important than whether he could actually perform the job. They just need the seat. That fake, I'm come from simulated combat, which is wrestling. And we've been known to stage a interview or two in our day. And that that Schumer just did, it didn't hurt us that bad, but we're gonna be okay. Yeah, the only problem is that he made sure the president did not appear on camera because he was like, wait, what? He didn't know, he had no idea what he was talking about. Schumer positioned him the right way. We're gonna be fine. But he's not representing anyone but himself. He's representing what it is to be dishonest. And that stupid line about what he's gonna do for disabilities, what Obama did for race. What did Obama do for race? The country has evolved and changed so a man of color, a black man, can run for president and everybody be okay with it. He didn't change the game. The game was changed by everyone so he could.
Nicely done. Kat, I'm thinking they should go one step further and have Fetterman drive the Corvette. Then I will vote for him.
Yeah, but following their logic, that would actually be a compassionate view on your part.
Yes, exactly.
It's not, you can't blame him. You have to blame the people who put him out there. I
Right.
mean, if they knew it would go like that and maybe even thought it would go worse and still do that, I mean, they know it's bad. And that's even why, Schumer's saying, I don't know, it's the Dems are in danger. I mean, calling that a hot mic moment, tell us something we don't know, Chuck.
Yeah.
It's not like a Robert Durst and the Jinx situation. Yes. Where everyone's like, what did he just say? And it keeps, if there were some intellectual honesty, I think people would respect it more. But to actually watch that and say that was actually great and comfortable and normal and nothing was wrong with that, you don't have to be a genius. You have to have gone outside one time to know that that's not true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, it's he's going to play the victim card after spending millions of dollars in donor campaign donations. All of a sudden now he's a victim. And if MSNBC's Larry O'Donnell feels that way, then MSNBC should hire him as an anchor.
Yeah.
Or the newspaper should hire him as a reporter.
Right.
The thing is, it's I didn't see Winston Churchill after the Blitz saying "Good night, Britain."
Yeah.
I didn't see FDR after Pearl Harbor saying "Good night, America."
Yeah.
So he's been a known quantity to his campaign. And now to play the victim card is deeply cynical.
But let's get the record straight.
Yeah.
They're making the claim that this is a processing problem, a auditory problem.
Excuse me, you're a doctor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He had a stroke, which means that part of his brain is gone. He has an aphasia, that's called. It's an aphasia, and in addition to speech, there are cognitive disorders associated with it. It's a serious brain damage. He will compensate, but he will never be the same. It's excruciating to watch them put that poor man up there and go through this. Oz must be, he knows exactly what this is and showed great restraint. It is very concerning that people are, the bad thing for me, concern for me is, how far are we going?
Right.
How much brain damage before we say somebody's not okay to serve? Is it half a whole cortex has to go? He has a parietal damage.
So you're saying it's unfair to Fetterman to have him?
It is excruciating to this poor man to see this happening. It's painful to watch, and as he said. But the question in my mind is, how far are we going with this?
Yeah.
How much does your brain have to dysfunction before we're honest about what the dysfunction is, and before, do you want him flying an airplane? Do you want him being your physician, your surgeon? Do you want him operating? I mean, where do we draw the line on these things if we're not realistic about how our brains work?
Yeah.
If I would have been working for him, I would have stopped it. I would have went out there and hugged him like you've done it. It was just, I put it to like a
But
fighter
what's
who can't
happening
fight
too
anymore.
with the media is
That would have been better than what we
it's
saw.
also a distraction of what his policies have been, right? Which are so damaging and have been damaging to towns like Braddock,
He's
where
for
he
no
was
cash
mayor.
bail?
And letting murderers
bail
out
cash?
of prison.
Well, he wanted to free Morgan Freeman,
Well, yeah.
which I'm sure Morgan Freeman was happy to hear.
But it's always striking. It's always striking to have the left say we're for civil rights or social justice. What is more of a civil right violation than an innocent American being murdered because somebody was let out of jail early? It was a murderer.
Excellent point. All right. I like how you, Doc, I like how you explain what that is to me. If I ever come down with something, I want you to explain it to me, right?
Should we start right now?
Yes.
I'll sign whatever you need, Doc. I'll sign whatever you need.
Done.
If there's ever anything wrong.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I'll give you the power of my attorney so you can just sign for me.
Okay. Well, great. I'm glad you guys had a lot of fun at my expense. Up next, the lead singer for U2 finally understands how his fortune grew.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.